Yeah, I think this kind of exercises is useful for us and for all medics around the world. We get experience how to deal with mass casualties and how to work with the first army in the world as well.
Saudi Arabia was one of several countries with military personnel participating in Army Reserve Medical Command's Global Medic, conducted July 7th through the 27th at Fort Hunter Liggett, California. The weather was hot and dry as service members from different medical units gathered to assemble field hospitals and other tents in the training areas of parched ground. The training objective for these medical units is to sharpen their collective skills, which falls in the shoulders of the Medical Readiness Training Command and their medical observer coach trainers.
As a coach, as an observer, you want to build that initial rapport because you want to build that mutual trust. Be able to give your honest critique and they would take it constructively, making sure that you're just enforcing the standards. Because I'm there to kind of guide them through as they prepare for the mission.
MRTC is a one-star command headquartered out of San Antonio, Texas, that provides and resources joint multinational collective training to medical units and soldiers for contingency operations in support of global requirements. Most medical personnel participating in this exercise belong to one of two larger Army Reserve medical units, the 228th Combat Support Hospital from San Antonio, Texas, and the 396th Combat Support Hospital from Vancouver, Washington. Most of these soldiers work in their medical profession full-time as civilians back home. They really come to Fort Hunter Liggett to be tested on all the soldier skills associated with setting up and operating in the field, working as a team, a wide variety of basic combat soldier skills, and of course, experiencing the simulated stress that is deliberately injected while they're in this training environment. America's Army Reserve, through exercises like Global Medic, generates combat-ready units and soldiers who are trained, equipped, and prepared to win our nation's wars. Colonel Paul Phillips is an orthopedic surgeon assigned to the 228th Combat Support Hospital who believes in the value of the Global Medic exercise.
This gives me the opportunity to actually be able to put in a bigger picture, full scope of what Army Reserve medicine is really about being prepared to deploy when needed.
Colonel Randy Reiser, an anesthesiologist, is an observer coach trainer supporting the 228th CASH. He has had 3 deployments to combat zones and is well suited in his role as an OCT.
Every time I see a soldier or a simulated casualty come through, there's something flashes back about a casualty that was similar that I saw in theater. And that makes the whole thing more real. And then I try to, impart that same sort of sense of emotion or urgency or what the soldier's feeling or what the staff's feeling into the scenario. But it's really interesting to see every unit that comes through after they've been on the ground for 5 days, 10 days, this becomes the reality. You can see people thinking more about teamwork and leadership and supporting each other and accomplishing the mission. And that sort of response just continues to grow and build throughout the exercise.
Sergeant First Class Eric Helper, an Army nurse and also an OCT for a combat support hospital, outlines the ultimate goal of his OCT teams.
We help the commander on a daily basis to make them a success. We let them know from the get-go our position here is not to be destructive but to be constructive. We want them to succeed both individually and collectively as a unit.
In the end, a team of approximately 325 personnel assigned to MRTC worked together to support a training audience of more than 1,775 personnel over the 2-week period, pushing them as hard as possible for deployment if needed. Reporting from Fort Hunter Liggett, California, for Army Reserve Medical Command, I'm Sergeant First Class Kenny Scott.